Good afternoon, fans. This is your girl from Mel'S Mat Chat, and welcome to episode 346 of the podcast. How is everybody doing? I'm hoping everybody's having a great Friday. I'm just a little late today. I'm going to explain very momentarily, but I'm hoping everybody has a great Friday and it's going to be a great weekend. And one thing is my man's not here. My man is right now being a father to his 13-year-old daughter, and this weekend is her birthday party, and I'm good. I'm going to stay here and I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to have a great time and everything like that. So, yeah, I'm choosing to stay home, and he understands, and everything is copacetic. We're fine, and, I'm doing me and everything like that. So, I am hoping everybody's gonna have a great weekend. It's on the heels of the 4th of July weekend. And please do me a favor, please make sure that you drive responsibly this week coming up and next weekend coming up. So a lot's going on. We're gonna go to do AEW first, which I'm gonna do Rampage and Collision from last week, and then I'm gonna go right into Raw and SmackDown, or SmackDown and Raw. Then, if you're going to wonder why Dynamite is not going to be on it, because guess what? On Sunday, I'm going to go live early with preview and predictions of the Forbidden Door. And then Monday, after I get home from doctors and stuff like that, I'm going to do my review of the Forbidden Door. Then that is it. And then we're going to get ready for Money in the Bank, which is this 6th. So we're going to be on a ride of a lifetime. So that means next week I'm going to be going live on Thursday. Then I'm going to do preview and predictions. Actually, wait a minute. I'm going to go live on Friday. Saturday morning, I'm going to go live with preview and predictions. And then right after the pay-per-view, I'm going to go live. So you're going to see me 3 times next week. I know, it's crazy. Fucking crazy. Depending on how late it is, I may go live on Sunday. It's depending on what's going on. All right. So just keep following my ex. Speaking of that, please follow me on all my social media, which is Instagram, Threads, Facebook, Mel'S Mat Chat. Also follow me on X, Cameo, and Cameo, TikTok, and X, Mel'S Mat Chat. But there's 2 other places that you can find me. You can find me on OnlyFans and Snapchat, Real Mel'S Mat Chat. Now, if you want to donate to the podcast and everything like that, please do me a favor. Go to my X. It's on the top of my my page. It's my PayPal account. Scan it. You can leave a note, which you can. Leave a little note, and I'll shout you out here on the channel. Also, please do me a favor and like, share, and subscribe, turn on the bell for all notifications. So when I go live, upload a video, or do a short, you will all know about it. Please also go check out Maestro Classics at maestroclassics.com. Visit their website for all your beard essentials. They're great gifts. They're a great organization. So go check them out, maestroclassics.com. Also, please, if you want to murder your thirst and you want the artillery to murder your thirst, please go check out Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com. Visit their website for all your artillery to murder your thirst. You have regular spring water, unflavored salsa water, lemonade, and sports packs. They also have great merch, so go check that out, liquiddeath.com. Now, if you're a coffee aficionado, just like I am, and you want to sample the world's strongest coffee with the lowest acidic rate, go check out Death Wish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com. They have a plethora of flavors, have righteous merch, so go check it out, deathwishcoffee.com. Now, I'm a huge professional wrestling fan, and I support local independent professional wrestling. And they have an amazing independent company called House of Glory. They are having an event which is coming up, which is, I believe it is, I have to get my notes out. Sorry for the little delay. But go check out Friday, July 26th, high intensity. We have Swerve Strickland versus Amazing Ren for the HOG World Heavyweight Championship, and a member of the Samoan dynasty, the Bloodline, which is Zilla Fatu, which is Umanga's son. So go check that out and get your tickets at hogwrestling.net. Also in August 17th, it's going to be the East Coast versus the West Coast. We're going to have Future Stars of Wrestling versus House of Glory professional superstars. So if you're not in Las Vegas, you can watch it on Thriller, which you can also watch High Intensity on Thriller. And that was formerly known as the Fight app. So that will be August 17th. So if you want to keep up to date on everything on House of Glory, please do yourself a favor and go to their social media, and you can get all those links at the website at hogwrestling.net. Now we're going to do Collision, and we're going to do Rampage first because Forbidden Door is this weekend, so we've got to get that out first so we can keep you up to date. If you're going to wonder why Dynamite will not be on here, it will be on my preview and predictions on Sunday. So beware of that. You'll also get this week's Collision and this week's Rampage on that show for all the go-home shows. So you know what's going to, they can get you all caught up for this. Then after I do AEW, I'm going to go right into WWE, get you out of here so I can get in and enjoy the rest of my weekend, okay? Let's get to it. And I got hair all over my tablet. Give me 1 second. Okay. Rampage. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but the ratings are in the shitter right now. And this is all because they don't want to do stories. Storylines are key. You're not going to fucking goddamn just put on matches and make them not mean anything. Even MMA has stories. Boxings have stories. So AEW's got to do this. And if it doesn't, it's going to throw by the wayside. Hi, Christopher Jackson, Denver. And hi, Mr. Zaki boy. Yeah, more like Forbidden Boar. Yeah, especially what's going on. I mean, we've had 2 fucking matches between the Elite and AEW. I mean, come on. If the Anarchy in the Arena match was supposed to be the end of the whole situation, now we're doing it again. Oh, for the love of God, you're going to beat a dead fucking horse at this point. Seriously. And I'm not joking. So, and I'm hoping that the USB arena is going to be filled up, because if it isn't, they've got some serious issues, honestly. Because I would feel so bad for the people who are trying to put this thing on and they're not filling up the arenas. Text something about how I'm not gonna, yeah, I'll take care of that on my X. I don't do politics on here, okay? So I appreciate that. Thank you. I will address it with you in private, all right? Thank you. All right. Rampage is basically, I put it on in the background basically, and that's basically about it. I don't really pay much attention to it. There's really no storyline, so it is what it is. All right, Rampage was coming from the Eagle Bank Arena in Fairfax, Virginia. Oh, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Now you just know that I won't be talking politics on here, okay? Because if I did, I'd get canceled. Trust me. Um, so we started off with Commander and Metalik versus Private Party. Brother Zay hit an arm drag on Commander, but Commander took down Zay with a diving Hurricane Rana. Commander crumbled Zay after Commander connected with a drop kick. Private Party blasted Metalik with silly string for a near fall. Metalik wiped out Private Party with big back elbows. Metalik flew over the top rope and crashed into Private Party. Commander followed up with a sky twister press on the floor on Private Party. Brother Zay planted Commander with a spine buster. Quen grabbed a tag and a superplex Metalik. Quen nailed Metalik with a 450 splash, but Commander jumped to break up the pin. Metalik and Brother Zay traded shots. Both men had the same idea and took another one down with clotheslines. Commander and Quen attempted a shooting star press, but their targets moved out of the way. Quen spiked Commander with a reverse Hurricane Rana. Private Party finished off Metalik with a gin and juice, with Brother Zay grabbing the pin. After the match, FTW champion, the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho, Brian Keith, and Big Bill walked onto the ramp. Private Party rushed up to them, but Private Party outnumbered security, tried to pry Private Party away from Jericho, Big Bill, and Brian Keith. Ref Aubrey Edwards yelled at them, telling them to save it for their match on Collision. And I want to congratulate Zelina De Laurenta on the upcoming birth of her baby. And when I get to it, we're going to talk about Rhea Ripley getting hitched to one Mr. Buddy Matthews. So I think that we're going to do that in the transition from AEW to WWE. Seriously. We go to Shingo Takagi versus AR Fox. AR Fox ambushed Takagi before the bell. Fox vaulted off the ring post and took out Shingo on the arena floor. AR Fox followed it up with a senton for a near fall. Takagi cracked AR Fox with a vicious lariat. Takagi nailed Fox with a swinging neckbreaker. Takagi battered Fox with a hammer and elbow strike. Fox took down Takagi with a cutter and then 450 splash, but Takagi kicked out at the count of 2. Takagi drilled Fox with a death valley driver. Takagi followed up with a running lariat. Takagi planted Fox, finishing Fox off and scoring the pin victory. The American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, walked down to the ring after the match, applauding Takagi's victory. Danielson extended his hand, but Takagi slapped it out of the way. Shingo laser focused on winning the tournament and beating Danielson at the Forbidden Door, said Excalibur. Very quick, easy, painless match. Ray Phoenix versus the Outrider, Turbo Floyd. Turbo Floyd took Phoenix off his feet with a shoulder tackle. Ray Phoenix connected with a crossbody press off the top rope. Ray Phoenix walked the top rope with a kick to Turbo's head. Ray Phoenix quickly finished off Turbo with a frog splash and pinned Turbo. Penta El Zito Miedo helped Phoenix and Albert Hantes in the ring after the match. Jay White, Ray Phoenix is coming for the Owen Cup. Penta is possibly leaving AEW. And honestly, I don't want him going to WWE. I would actually have him resign. I know, shockingly, but I think because of his age, he's like, I think a year younger than me. I'm 42 and he's like 41 or 40, whatever the case may be. But I would actually like to see at WrestleMania, maybe Dragon Lee versus Penta. Possible. Fingers crossed. Who knows? But I would like to see that. I would like to see Penta get his just desserts and get his his flowers and actually go out at WrestleMania. TNT ladder match qualifier, Lio Rush versus Action Andretti. Lio Rush went for a Hurricane Rana, but Action landed on his feet. Both men, familiar with each other's size, collided in the center of the ring with a crossbody press, having each having the same idea. Lio used a snap suplex to stun Action Andretti. Lio kicked Action in the spine. Lio rocked Action with an uppercut to the back of the Action's head. Andretti turned up the heat on Lio Rush and booted Rush out of the ring. Andretti flipped off the ropes and crashed down hard on Rush. Action planted Rush with a Falcon Arrow for the near fall. Lio dropped Action with his knees with a lightning combination. Lio avoided split-legged moonsault. Lio bounced off the bottom rope and scored with a stunner. Lio scored with the win with a frog splash on Action Andretti. He has done it. He's qualified for the ladder matches for the Forbidden Door, said Daddy Magic. We will be looking at a new TNT champion, said Excalibur. Lio Rush helped Action Andretti to his feet, showing respect and extending his hand. Action shook Leo's hand. So he is heading to the Forbidden Door, Lio Rush. Rampage main event. Owen Hart Foundation Tournament Women's Quarterfinal. The Professor, Serena Deeb versus Willow Nightingale, the last year's champion. Bye, Chris. Love you. Willow flattened Deeb with a running crossbody, then followed up with a beautiful vertical suplex. Deeb charged at Willow and knocked her to the arena floor with a running forearm. Deeb dropped Willow with a snapping neck breaker. Deeb was looking for deep talks, but Willow backed body dropped her way out of it. Willow clipped Deeb in the back of the head with a cartwheel kick. Willow planted Deeb with a spine buster for a near fall. Deeb blocked the Dr. Bomb and Deeb applied a single leg crab. Deeb stunned Willow with a German suplex. Serena Deeb climbed to the top turnbuckle. Willow met her up there, cutting her off at the pass. Willow suplexed Deeb. Willow connected with a big lariat, but Deeb kicked out at the two count. Deeb dodged a cannonball in the corner from Willow. Deeb walloped Willow with a deep tox for a near fall. Willow charged off the ropes and pounced Deeb. Willow pinned Deeb after the Dr. Bomb. Willow advances in the tournament. Great match, and now meeting with Willow Nightingale, unavoidable for Chris Statlander, said Excalibur. So Collision was coming from the PPL Center in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and they went to the Key West Bank Arena in Buffalo, New York. So we're going to go right to Collision. And you know what? I was listening to some of the stuff on for the preview and what's the press with the Forbidden Door. I'm telling you, people are fucking goddamn really sucking and really fucking trying to be desperate of selling AEW, because let me tell you something. I've never seen it in all 5 years that they have to shill this like this. It is ridiculous. This is like back like 5 or 6 years ago with WWE, and I'm not joking. Absolutely, it's ridiculous. Collision. Collision. We started off the show with the trios match. Samoa Joe, Hook, and Katsuri Shibata versus the Premier Athletes, Josh Woods, Tony Nese, and Arya Daivari. Nese hit Joe with a spin kick, but that Joe bulldozed Nese to the mat. Hook tagged in and suplexed Nese, but Nese landed on his feet and then drop kicked Hook. The premier athlete triple team Hook in the corner of the ring. Shibata grabbed a tag and Woods entered the match for his team. Woods and Shibata traded forearms. They chain wrestled and Shibata grabbed an armbar, but Woods reached the ropes with his boots. Samoa Joe boxed Nice in the corner. Sterling distracted the ref while Josh Woods hit Samoa Joe with a cheap shot. Hook tagged in and wiped out Nice with a suplex. Hook followed up with a T-bone and then clobbered Nice with a clubbing forearms. Josh Woods jumped into the ring and hurled Hook with a German release. Shibata knocked Nice with a snapmare suplex. Shibata applied an armbar and forced Nice to tap out. What a team. They disposed the premier athletes. Maybe a title shot in the near future, said Tony Schiavone. Wow, they're actually giving love to the trios division. Who would have thunk? Unified Trios champions, the Bang Bang Gang, Austin Colton Gunn, along with rock hard Juice Robinson, were backstage. Juice, apparently AEW isn't going to recognize the fact that I was anointed one quarter of the AEW Unified Trios champions. Colton, apparently the House of Black gets a title shot now. Austin, apparently Pac cares about the Bang Bang Gang now interrupting our 6-man tag team match. Juice, but it's all good. Our fearless leader, Switchblade Jay White, the catalyst, he's off training his ass off. You thought eight you thought 8 abs were something. He's coming back with 10. Pack, you better hope that you don't see the Switchblade in the Owen Hart Cup. Lexi Nair was backstage with Dante Martin, Darius Martin, and Action Andretti. Dante, the last time I was in a ladder match, I broke my leg. I had to relearn how to be inhuman. And I'm going right back into that environment, and people are telling me I'm crazy. But at Forbidden Door, we're going to have some gold to celebrate, boys. Leo Rush walked onto the set. I actually want to talk about last week, said Leo. Action. Before we get into anything last week, I just want to congratulate you on your big win you got on Rampage. Leo, Darius, we're cool. Dante, as you can see last week, I'm a man of my word. I had your back. I always have. I always will. But I'm in the ladder match too. Come Forbidden Door. I want my TNT championship for myself. I want the TNT championship for myself. Yeah, I want Dante. Yeah, I want it too. Leo. So I guess I'll see you there. Darius, we'll see who the better man is. Trios match, the Patriarch, Christian Cage, Nick Wayne, and Killswitch versus the Iron Savages, Bulk Bronson, Beefcake Boulder, and Jack Jameson. As the Iron Savages were making their entrance, Jack Jameson had some choice words for Christian Cage. Jameson, Christian Cage, you have been a focal point on the biggest shows in history since most of us have been little kids. One of the greatest of all times, and now you've been better than you ever were. Before the match, Christian Cage and Mother Wayne walked away from the ring. Christian Cage decided to instead to enjoy the broadcast team for this match. Killswitch nailed Bulk with a headbutt. Nick Wayne tagged in, but Bulk Bronson dropped Nick. Killswitch came in and walloped Bronson with a big thrust kick. Killswitch shoved Boulder over the top rope. Killswitch picked up Nick Wayne and tossed him into Jameson and Boulder outside the ring, showing off a unique form of tandem offense. Bronson charged at Killswitch, but Killswitch grabbed him and chokeslammed Bronson. Nick Wayne tagged in and rocked Bronson with Wayne's World. Christian Cage walked into the ring, tagged in. Nick and Killswitch picked up Bronson, and then Christian finished off Bronson with the Killswitch, grabbing the pin for his team, obviously. We go to FTW champion, the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho, and the Redwood, Big Bill, versus Private Party, which is Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy. Big Bill knocked Quinn right to the mat with his shoulder block. Big Bill battered Quinn in the corner and hurled Quinn halfway across the ring. Big Bill splashed Mark Quinn in the corner using his body as a battering ram. Mark Quinn rallied back with a shotgun dropkick, but Big Bill knocked out Quinn with a nasty jab. Big Bill picked up Mark Quinn and dropped him hard onto the mat. Jericho tagged in and dropped Quinn in the corner. Quinn fired back with a flying shoulder and tagged out to Brother Zay. Cassidy ground and pound Jericho after a double leg takedown. Jericho gouged Cassidy in the eyes to stop Cassidy's momentum. Mark Quinn tagged in and took down Jericho and grounded and pounded Jericho too. Brian Keith distracted Quinn long enough for Jericho to connect with a clothesline. Brother Zay cleaned house on Jericho and Big Bill with consecutive cutters. Mark Quinn charged at Jericho with Jericho caught him with a chop to the throat. Jericho went for a lion's hold, but Quinn raised his knees in defense. Cassidy and Quinn rocked Jericho with a gin and juice, but Jericho kicked out at the count of 2. Brian Keith distracted the ref while Big Bill booted Isaiah Cassidy in the jaw. Jericho went for a cover, but Cassidy kicked out at the count of 2. Cassidy fired back on all cylinders. Cassidy tried for a Hurricane Rana, but Jericho countered with the walls. Cassidy manages to reach the ropes to break up the walls. Big Bill decimated Cassidy with a boss man slam for a near fall. Big Bill chokeslammed Mark Quinn into Cassidy and went for the cover, but Cassidy kicked out. Cassidy shoved Big Bill, and Big Bill collided with Jericho. Mark Quinn used a Hurricane Rana and sent Jericho flying into Cassidy, and Cassidy turned into a code breaker on Jericho. Cassidy was looking for a lion saw, but the ref was distracted by Big Bill on one side. Brian Keith and Cassidy struck Cassidy from the ring apron. Bad Apple caught him. Zay is wiped out, said Shivani. Jericho covered Cassidy and scored the win after a big assist from Brian Keith. Jericho, Big Bill, Brian Keith attacked Private Party after the match. Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata sprinted to the ring, even up the odds, and for Private Party went to work on Brian Keith's arm, and a ringside physician had to check on Keith. Samoa Joe, hi, Chris. Every idea that comes out of your tree sucks. I've always been a man who said that the idea is to survive a crucible of combat, and that's what I suggest. I say Shibata, Hook, Samoa Joe versus Jericho and what's left of the Learning Tree come Forbidden Door. So we're going to look forward to that. And the 82 fucking matches to boot. Because I know fucking Tony Khan has got fucking at least 5 in his ass right now. I'm telling you, it's going to start at 8 and we're going to be finished by 2 at this point from now on. Because he is not going to stop. He's not going to stop at all. And he's going to put on 0 hour at least 5 matches. And I'm not joking. The Professor, Serena Deeb, was backstage. Leading up to Double or Nothing, I was 6-0. Physically, I was unbeatable. Mentally, I was untouchable. And subsequently, I have had 3 of the toughest losses of my career to the 3 of the best women in the company. Sometimes you're on top and sometimes you're on the way down. But you have to stop. You have to stop in its tracks. My wrestling career has taught me about grit and perseverance. So next week I will be in Buffalo. I'm begging anyone to step in my ring, to step into Deeb's dojo, because baby, I'm on the up and I'm going to remind everyone and myself who the hell I am. The Professor of Professional Wrestling. House of Black. Malachi Black and Brody King versus LSG and MSG. Okie dokie. I think there's a little bit of cease and desist going to MSG. I mean, Madison Square Garden. I mean, come on now. Black blocked a kick from MSG. LSG tagged in and the House of Black hit tandem offense. Brody popped up LSG, and then Black cracked him with a knee. They finished off LSG with Dante's Inferno, and Brody scored the pin. That was a complete domination of the House of Black, and they seem more violent than before, said Tony Schiavone. After the match, Ian Riccaboni interviewed Malachi Black and Brody King on the ramp. Ian asked how tonight's victory felt after what happened to Buddy Matthews last week. Malachi, what a human question. Brody, revenge is never straight line. We feel nothing. Now, since they brought up Buddy Matthews, I want to congratulate Buddy Matthews and Rhea Ripley, mommy, on their wedding that they had this week. Congratulations to the happy couple. And I'm hoping that she gets back soon. Honestly, seriously. I think it was more of that. She had the injury and then they kind of moved up the wedding because they had the time and everything like that. CML Hashero versus Daddy Magic Matt Menard. Hashero charged at Daddy Magic, but Daddy Magic dodged him. Hashero dumped Daddy Magic on his head. Hashero chomped on Daddy Magic's forehead. Hashero followed up with a back body drop. Menard got back into it with forearms. Menard stunned Hashero with a cutter for a near fall. Hashero stretched Daddy Magic with a submission, and Daddy Magic had no choice to tap out. Color me impressed. That is the man that MJF will have to face come Forbidden Doors, said Nigel. What a challenge it'll be for MJF, replied Tony Schiavone. AEW Continental Championship Eliminator match. The Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada versus CML's Ultimo Guerrero. Ultimo Guerrero hit a running shoulder block on Okada. Ultimo Guerrero blistered Okada's chest with stiff chops in the corner. Ultimo Guerrero's body slammed the Rainmaker. Okada came back with shoulder breaker on his opponent. Okada against Ultimo Guerrero is a match we never thought we'd see, but we're seeing it tonight on Collision, said Schiavone. Ultimo Guerrero used a sliding baseball drop kick to knock Okada out of the ring. Ultimo Guerrero stalked Okada outside the ring and rammed Okada in the steel ring post. Guerrero hoisted up Okada with a second turnbuckle and planted Okada down. Okada nailed Guerrero with a picture-perfect dropkick. Ultimo Guerrero powerbombed Okada out of the corner for a near fall. Ultimo Guerrero was looking for a sliced bread on Okada on the top turnbuckle, but Okada gouged Guerrero's eyes. Okada pulled the mask down from Ultimo Guerrero and smashed him with a Rainmaker clothesline. Okada covered Ultimo Guerrero and pinned him for a 3 count. Did you think Okada was going to lose? I mean, come on now. AEW Women's World Champion Timeless Toni Storm and Mariah May versus Legit Layla Hirsch and Lady Frost. Layla took Toni down to the mat, but Toni got on her feet. Layla grappled Toni back down. Toni tagged in Mariah, and Mariah scored a drop kick. Lady Frost entered the fray, but Mariah planted Lady Frost onto the mat. Toni Storm followed up with a running hip attack, knocking Lady Frost outside the ring. Mariah May drilled Layla with a backdrop driver. Toni tagged in, nailed Layla with a backstabber, then a Northern Lights suplex for a near fall. Mariah May wiped out Layla with a running knee strike and then headbutted Lady Frost. Lady Frost cartwheeled into a cannonball and crushed Mariah in the corner. Lady Frost went for a frostbite, but Toni Storm sacrificed her body, covering Mariah with her own body. Toni smashed Layla with a Storm Zero, allowed Mariah to make the cover, scoring the pin for her team. And that is that. Collision main event. AEW International Championship match. The Aerial Assassin Will Ospreay versus the Machine Brian Cage. Cage ran down Will like a runaway freight train. Cage curled his curled his opponent, then dumped Ospreay to the mat. Ospreay, the ace of AEW, blasted Bryan with a pump kick. Will went over the top with a plancha on Cage to the arena floor. Cage came back with a delayed vertical suplex and a jackhammer for a near fall on the champ. Not a lot of mustard on the kickouts, said Nigel. Daniel Garcia was watching the match backstage on a monitor. What is he gonna be watching it on? A fucking goddamn stone here? I mean, of course it's gonna be on a monitor. Oh, you Maida. Ospreay connected with a springboard forearm. The machine Brian Cage fired back with a high arching release German suplex. Would probably rival Brock Lesnar. Fans chanted, "Let's go Ospreay, let's go Ospreay." Ospreay motivated the fans, went for a hidden blade. Cage countered with cracking Will in the head with a back elbow. Ospreay countered with a spinning lariat, a powerbomb to Cage. Ospreay used a Kawada style kicks on Cage. Brian Cage dished out a lariat and then a powerbomb, followed by another powerbomb for a near fall. Ospreay spiked Cage with a DDT. Ospreay nailed Cage with a hidden blade, but Cage kicked out at the count of 2. Textbook Will Ospreay to the back of Cage's neck, said Nigel. Cage kicked back with Will in the jaw. Will retaliated with a thrust kick. Cage grabbed Ospreay and planted Will with a spinning power slam off the second turnbuckle for a near fall. Cage blocked an Oscutter. Cage went for a Joe Claw, but Will blocked it. Will stunned Cage with an Oscutter, but Cage kicked out of the pin attempt. Will walloped Cage with a hidden blade and pinned Brian Cage. 18-0, and now on the horizon. Ospreay can put his thoughts on the Forbidden Door in 8 days and the world title, said Tony Schiavone. Ospreay certainly had to earn this victory tonight and gained some confidence, but at what cost, wondered Nigel. So we're going to be having Dynamite, this week's Collision, and this week's Rampage on the Forbidden Door preview and predictions, which will be at 9 a.m. on Sunday morning. All right, so we're going to go right to last week's SmackDown. Just going to do something right there. This is what happened last week on SmackDown, so we could get you ready for tonight's SmackDown. SmackDown had on the men's Money in the Bank qualifying match, Randy Orton versus Carmelo Hayes and versus the Bloodlines Tama Tonga. We had another triple threat. We had a Kevin Owens versus Grayson Waller versus Andrade El Idolo. We had a women's triple threat, which is Chelsea Green, Michin, Bianca Belair. We also had CM Punk appearing in Chicago. Then we had LA Knight versus had a face-to-face with Logan Paul. Before we get started, I want to send out my condolences. Roman Reigns has lost his father, Sika, WWE Hall of Famer Sika. He passed away earlier this week, as well as Pat McAfee's father-in-law. He passed away earlier this week. My condolences to the tribal chief. I throw up the one to acknowledge him and to acknowledge his father, and my thoughts and prayers go out to both of them. The show opens up with a video recapping last week's WWE Clash of the Castle from Glasgow, Scotland. We get a video footage of the Scottish Warrior Drew McIntyre quitting on Monday Night Raw. Corey Graves and Wade Barrett welcome us to the show, and Graves says we are in Chicago. CM Punk chants, and then the show begins. And of course, CM Punk comes out, the Second City Saint. CM Punk starts off saying it's great to be live on television in Chicago on Friday night, speaking in front of people, speaking in front of his hometown and promising to be champion is pressure. Punk then says people may think he's crazy, but before the fans hear the static of his entrance music and in living color, he asks the live crowd how many people were in the Allstate Arena in July of 2011 when he promised to walk out of Chicago as WWE champion. Punk then says that was pressure and he could have made an embarrassment of himself or his hometown, but he didn't do that. Punk then says he was told that extra security was hired for Clash of the Castle in order to prevent him from interfering in Drew McIntyre's World Heavyweight Championship match. But it was a little bit of revenge on McIntyre for kicking him and Chicago. Punk then says he set out to make McIntyre's a life of living hell, and he planned on burying his career 6 feet under, but didn't think it would be this easy. Punk then calls McIntyre quitting WWE on Monday night and says he made bad things happen to him. Punk then says he was looking forward to making more bad things happen to McIntyre, but he took his ball and went home. Paul Heyman then interrupts. I never thought I'd see the day. We see the day of this happening, and I loved every minute of it. Then interrupts Punk by saying, ladies and gentlemen, line that tells Punk he would never disrespect Heyman, and says he just arrived in the Allstate Arena and it was running late. And Punk sat next to his children when he was inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame in April. Heyman then says, despite being the wise man for Roman Reigns, and he told the world that Punk was his best friend. Heyman then says he has come to Punk with an urgent situation, then asks Punk if he can enter the ring. Fans chant for Roman Reigns. As Punk tells Heyman he can get inside the ring. Heyman does so and hugs Punk. That was I started crying. As Heyman begins to cry, before Heyman tells Punk he needs to hug him, Heyman then says, driving into the Allstate Arena, he heard someone on the sports radios say Chicago was Punk's town. Heyman then says hearing that upset Solo Sikoa, and Sikoa is the head of the table. Reluctantly, he said that. He wants every town to be his town. Heyman then says he came to the ring to ask a favor of Punk. He warns that the bloodline is coming for him. Heyman then points out the extra security that are present. Then says that he's doing Punk a favor by telling him to leave the Allstate Arena. Do you think Punk is going to fucking leave the Allstate Arena? That's his fucking home. People, come on. Punk asks Heyman if he's hearing him correctly, but before he can continue, Solo's music hits. And Solo makes his way down to the ring along with Tama Tonga and Tangaloa. Sikoa tells Punk if he wants to be on his show in his city, he has two options. Pay the respects to the bloodline or get beat down of his life. Punk then asks Heyman what he wants in return for doing him a favor. Heyman tells Punk he wants him to take him with him. Punk then says he acknowledges that he sees a bunch of fake Usos cosplaying as the Bloodline and a phony tribal chief. Sequoia, Loa, and Tonga then surrounded Punk, but the WWE Undisputed Champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, slides into the ring with a bat in hand and hands one to Punk. The Bloodline then backs down and Rhodes grabs a mic. Rhodes tells Sequoia that he has already beaten one of the head of the table, then challenges him to a one-on-one match with everyone else barred from ringside. Rhodes' music then hits to end the segment. And then they got video of him of Punk chasing. It was hilarious. You got to check it out. It was on TikTok, it was on Instagram, it was hilarious. So we go to Jade Cargill and the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair, where they were shown talking backstage. Cargill says she needs to talk to SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis about a rematch for their titles. So then Bianca Belair's music hits and she goes down to the ring. Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa was made official for later in the show. Rhodes was then shown walking backstage and he ran into Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. Orton asks Cody if he really wanted to face Sequoia later. Cody tells Orton and Owen to trust him. Owens then says the Bloodline always has a plan. Cody then says he knows that, but he has a plan too. So we go to the women's qualifying Money in the Bank, which is Chelsea Green, Michin, Mia Yim, and Bianca Belair. The match starts off with both Michin and Belair taking turns in hitting forearms on Green as we see WWE Women's Champion Bayley watching the action from the backstage area. Belair then nails Michin, but Green hits a right hand on Belair. Belair then rolls up Michin, but Michin kicks out. Belair then looks to hit a springboard moonsault on Michin, but Green prevents her from doing so, then pulls her out of the ring. Belair then inadvertently hits a forearm on Michin while aiming for Green, and both women go back and forth with forearms until Green hits a tope suicida to land on both of them. Green and Belair teeter on the ropes, but Michin pulls them both down with a double back suplex. Michin and Belair then go back and forth with forearms before Belair rolls up Michin. Michin then kicks out and looks to hit a Hurricane Rana on Belair, but Belair blocks her. Michin then counters into a roll-up, but Belair kicks out. Michin then sends Belair crashing out of the ring with an E to feet, but Green rolls up Michin. Michin then kicks out and looks to hit the E to feet on her. Green then reverses it into an Emprettier, but Michin avoids it and hits her with a Styles Clash. Good job on that one. Michin then goes for a pin, but Belair breaks the fall. Belair then hits a German suplex on Michin, then follows it up with a KOD. Green then sends Belair out of the ring and pins me. I was thrilled that Green gets to do this. Belair has had her time. It was either Green or Michin, and I would have preferred Michin, but Green kind of is more, how can I say, they're trying to make up for lost time with Green because she got let go and then she was brought back. It was crazy. So then after the match, Green celebrates her win. WWE Women's Champion Bayley was shown standing backstage and Blair Davenport approaches her. Davenport said she will cash in her Money in the Bank briefcase on Bayley after she wins it. Sequoia then was shown talking to Heyman in the Bloodline locker room. Sequoia tells Heyman to tell the target something, but the audio cut out. Heyman then looked nervously at Sequoia, saying if he tells Heyman to do something, Heyman better do it. Sequoia then says he and Heyman also need to have a talk later. We get a video recapping what happened last week between the WWE Tag Team Champion, the A-Town Down Under, which is Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, and DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Waller was interviewed backstage by Kayla Braxton. Kayla Braxton's last day is today. I want to wish her best of luck, and I hopefully that if she wants to come back, she's welcome back with open arms. And for you to people think that she was going to AEW, why would she fucking downgrade at this point? While Theory was at home, Waller says he will win Money in the Bank qualifying match in Theory's honor. DIY then enters, and then the garage door opens behind them. A bloody CM Punk, and that is then shown laid out on as Drew McIntyre stands over Punk. McIntyre then carries Punk from the outside through the backstage and to the ring. McIntyre then throws Punk on the ground in the entranceway and kneels down to take Punk's friendship bracelet from his wrist. SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis then appears and engages in shoving match with McIntyre. WWE officials appear and Punk is stretchered out of the arena. Aldis then accompanies Punk to an ambulance and then tells Punk it will be okay. Punk was not responsive and the ambulance drives off. Now, the bracelet that he has his dog's name and his wife's name, AJ Lee. AJ, you got to come back. We need you back, girl. It will be great. It will be glorious. Thank you, Bobby Roode. The Bloodlines, the right-hand man, Tama Tonga, and the Viper, Randy Orton, make their way down to the ring for their next match. And they will be joined by Carmelo Hayes in the qualifying match for the Money in the Bank. So that match starts off with both Hayes and Tonga going straight for Orton. Both men deliver right hands and kicks on Orton before Tonga pulls Hayes away, looking to deliver some kicks on his own. Hayes then rolls up Tonga, but Tonga kicks out. Orton then sends both Tonga and Hayes to the outside and sends Tonga face bouncing off the commentary table. Orton then looks to send Tonga through it, but Hayes prevents him from doing so. Orton then looks to send Hayes through the commentary table, but Tonga prevents him from doing so. All three men go back and forth with each other, and Tonga sends both Hayes and Tonga crashing on top of the commentary table. Tonga then hits Hayes with a strike and delivers some right hands on him. Tonga then hits a Hayes with a sliding clothesline and goes for a pin, but Hayes kicks out and Tonga follows it up with a headbutt. Tonga then puts Hayes in a sleeper, but Hayes responds with a super kick and sends Tonga crashing to the mat before he goes for a pin. Tonga then kicks out and Hayes rolls up Tonga, but Tonga kicks out once again. Tonga then hits Hayes with a neck backbreaker and pins him, but Orton breaks the fall and delivers some right hands on Tonga. Orton then nails Hayes with an uppercut and then hits a couple of clotheslines and a scoop power slam on Tonga. Hayes and Orton then teeter on the ropes, and Orton hits a suplex on Hayes. Orton then goes for a pin, but Tonga breaks the fall. Tonga then pulls Orton in a sleeper, but Hayes hits a codebreaker on Orton. Tonga then hits a flatliner on Orton and exchange strikes with Hayes. Orton then hits a double draping DDT on Hayes and Tonga, but Tonga jumps up on the apron and captures Orton's attention. Kevin Owens then appears and beats lower down on the ramp. Orton then says Tonga crashing out of the ring, and Hayes rolls out of the ring, and Hayes rolls him up for the win. So Hayes is going to Money in the Bank, and I gotta move this little because it's cutting off my head. After the match, Hayes celebrates with the win and poses on the commentary table. We get a video showing the debut of the Wyatt Six on this past Monday Night Raw. The megastar LA Knight then makes his way down to the ring to address the WWE Universe and calls out the WWE United States Champion Logan Paul. I find it really, really weird that LA Knight was the last match for Bray Wyatt. So LA Knight starts off by saying he wants to talk to the fans, then calls out Logan Paul down to the ring. Music doesn't hit, and Knight asks Paul if they're really doing this again. Knight then says he asked Paul for a title match, and Paul said no, and Paul decided to say no again by not showing up in Chicago. Knight then says Paul can't run next week when they collide in their Money in the Bank qualifier, and he's got him thinking about climbing the ladder and cashing in on Paul. What? would you want to cash in on that? Are you fucking serious? So Santos Escobar's music then hits and he makes his way down to the ring. Knight says he called out Paul, not Escobar, and Escobar says he doesn't need an invitation. Escobar then says he tells the truth and calls Knight delusional for chasing after Paul, like a desperate Chicago fanboy. Escobar then reminds Knight that he's not just dealing with Paul next week in a qualifier, but with him as well. Knight then says he's beaten Escobar every time they've met. Escobar then attacks Knight, but Knight hits him with a BFT. Paul then appears out of nowhere and sends Knight colliding with the ring post shoulder first. Paul then hits Knight with a right hand using the brass knuckles. Paul then yells at the cameraman holding his phone. WWE Tag Team Champion A-Town Down Under Grayson Waller, prize fighter Owen Hart. Oh my God, I'm losing my mind. Kevin Owens and Andrade are going to be doing the Money in the Bank qualifying match. I am losing my mind. I need sleep, people. I need sleep. This week was crazy. My boyfriend goes home on Monday. His daughter's actual birthday was on Tuesday, and then he came back on Wednesday, stayed with me till today, and he's home, and he's going to be back Tuesday. Give me the fucking strength. I need a break. Oh my God. Seriously. Match starts with Tama Tonga and Tegaloa blindsided Kevin Owens on the ramp, but Randy Orton appears with a chair in the hand to fight off Loa and Tonga. Waller then nails Andrade, but Andrade hits a elbow on Waller and goes for the pin. Waller then kicks out, and Andrade nails him with a crossbody on the outside. Waller then hits clothesline on Andrade, but Owens nails Waller with one of his own and follows up with a senton. Owens then gets Waller back inside the ring and climbs to the top, but Andrade trips him and delivers some right hands on Owens and a chop on Waller. All three men take turns striking each other before Waller hits a back body drop on Owens on the apron. Andrade then pulls Waller off the ring apron and hits him with a power bomb. All three men then go after one another, and Andrade hits a drop toe hold that sends Waller crashing into the turnbuckles. Andrade hits a meteor on both Waller and Owens and then pins Owens. Owens then kicks out and delivers some strikes on Andrade before both men exchange right hands with one another. Waller then nails both on Owens and Andrade with a double flatliner and pins. And Andrade moves on and pins Andrade. Andrade then kicks out and Waller pins Owens, but Owens kicks out. Waller then climbs up the ropes, but Andrade intercepts him with a few chops and joins him up there. Hold on. Owens then pulls them both down with a power bomb and then hits a swanton bomb on Andrade. Owens then goes for a pin, but Andrade kicks out. Owens then looks to hit a power bomb on Andrade, but Andrade avoids it. Andrade then looks to hit a message on Owens, but Owens avoids it and hits a stunner. Owens then goes for a pin, but Waller pulls Owens out of the ring. Waller hits a DDT on Owens and looks to hit a rolling stunner on Andrade back inside the ring, but Andrade counters it into a messenger for the win, and he moves on to Money in the Bank. I am liking the feels of this. It's not the usual suspects, and I like that because of the fact that we are not gonna know the favorite, and that's how I like it. I don't like to see the field and oh, this one's gonna win hands down. We actually get some unpredictability, and I like that for both sides. So the OC Mitchin is shown backstage. Tiffany Stratton walked in. Stratton tries to hit Mitchin, but Mitchin blocks it and punches Stratton. Queen Nia Jax then shows up and sends Mitchin into the equipment crate. Stratton and Jax then walk off. Stratton tells Minchin toodles. It is announced next week episode of WWE SmackDown will feature 3 Money in the Bank qualifying matches. Kayla Braxton then provides us an update on CM Punk's condition after being attacked by Drew McIntyre earlier in the evening. Braxton says Punk will be staying in a local hospital, not medical facility. Every time somebody says medical facility, I'm going to dub it hospital. She even said hospital. Overnight for evaluation. We then head to the back where Heyman interrupts Solo Sikoa as he's on his way out to the ring. Heyman says Sikoa that defeating Cody Rhodes wasn't his job. Heyman then says Sikoa was supposed to keep Rhodes in check until Roman Reigns returns to reclaim his title. Solo then tells Heyman he didn't want to be the one to tell him, but he loves him and Roman Reigns is not coming back. Heyman was left dumbfounded as he asked, how could that be? After this week, Roman Reigns has just become the biggest babyface in WWE without even coming back. Do you honestly think when Roman comes back, we're going to boo him? You're out of your fucking mind, people. Seriously. So we have a singles match. The WWE Undisputed Champion, Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa. No, I cannot wait for Roman to come back. He's going to fucking whip this guy's ass from pillar to post. The match starts with Rhodes hitting his signature slap on Sikoa. Rhodes then hits Sikoa out of the ring and flies to land on him. Then sends Sikoa crashing into the steel ring steps on both sides of the ring. Rhodes then hits Sikoa back inside the ring, but Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa enter the ring and attack Rhodes, causing disqualification. Do you honestly think that wasn't going to fucking happen? Come on, people. If you didn't know, now you know. The winner of the match, which is Cody Rhodes. After the match, the Viper, Randy Orton, and the prize fighter, Kevin Owens, make their way down to the ring to even up the odds. Rhodes with being a helping hand as he is being attacked by the Bloodline. Orton hits Tonga with an RKO, and Sikoa is left in the ring alone with Orton. Owens and Rhodes. Sikoa then smiles in the corner, and Jacob Fatu makes his debut on SmackDown. Fatu attacks Fatu attacks Orton, Rhodes, and Owens. Then sends Owens crashing into the barricade. Fatu hits a Samoan drop on Owens on top of the ring steps. Then sends Orton crashing through the barricade near the timekeeper's area. Rhodes then delivers some right hands on Fatu and clotheslines him out of the ring. But Fatu sends him crashing into the ring apron and clears the announce desk. Fatu gets Rhodes on top of it and climbs to the top rope and hits a frog splash on Rhodes that sends him crashing through the announce desk. Sikoa then hugs Fatu, and the two hold up the one and gesture in the ring. Tonga and Loa join them, and the Bloodline stands tall as the show comes to an end. It's going to be fucking bedlam tonight at Madison Square Garden, and I'm going to be salivating every minute of it. All right, on to Raw, and then I'm going to get you out of here. Please do me a favor and follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok, Cameo, all Mel's Mat Chat. Follow me on OnlyFans and Snapchat, Real Mel's Mat Chat. Please, if you want to donate to the podcast, please go check on my Twitter account, X, and scan the PayPal. Leave a message. I'll shut you out here on the show. Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw had some qualifying matches for the Money in the Bank. We had the women's Lyra Valkyria, Shayna Baszler, and Kairi Sane. We had Chad Gable, Bronson Reed, and Braun Strowman. We had Karrion Kross versus Kofi Kingston. Drew McIntyre was on there. Singles match, Braun Breaker versus Ludwig Kaiser. Women's Tag Team Championship, Alba Fire versus and Isla Dawn versus Katie Carter and Katana Chance. Dijakovic, Dijak. Today's his last day in WWE, so we've also wish him a good luck on his future, and hopefully he will be able to succeed elsewhere. So Monday Night Raw opens up with a shot of the arena. Michael Cole and WWE World Tag Team Champion The Miz welcomes us. Cole then matches WWE's deal with the city and says there are 12,269 fans in attendance. Cole then says Pat McAfee was not present and started to address the Wyatt Six attack before he was distracted. And that's when we know that before we found out that his father-in-law just suddenly passed away. And Indianapolis will be having SummerSlam. I think we'll be having the Royal Rumble. Sorry, the Royal Rumble in 2025 and a future WrestleMania and SummerSlam going towards there. So congratulations, Indianapolis. And you can thank Pat McAfee for that. Drew McIntyre then walks past the commentary table and enters the ring. As soon as I love it, no music. No music. He supposedly quit, so he doesn't get his music. As soon as McIntyre enters the ring, he says everyone was talking about how he quit last week. But they were not talking about how they're not talking about that now, as they are talking about him attacking CM Punk on SmackDown this past Friday. McIntyre then says what he did on SmackDown was so good that he wanted to see it again. We get a video footage of McIntyre attacking Punk on SmackDown in his hometown. McIntyre then he says he prayed for something like this to happen, and he adds that he is done with fans chanting for Punk. McIntyre then says fans have spent months listening and watching what Punk has done to him, and yet they still want to see him. McIntyre then says anyone chanting Punk's name is dead to him, then addresses Punk directly and tells Punk he hopes that he is uncomfortable and being fed through a straw. McIntyre then says he didn't just take Punk's dignity, but a bracelet with his wife and dog's name on it. McIntyre then holds up the bracelet and he says he knows how much this means to Punk. Then says he wears it when he leaves home so he could take them with him as to not feel alone. McIntyre then says Punk is in pain and miserable because of him, then declares that he will be entering the Money in the Bank ladder match as Punk lays home. McIntyre then says he knows what it's like to be alone and that he's not alone anymore. McIntyre then puts on Punk's bracelet and says he has Punk's family with him in his corner now. McIntyre then promises to win the Money in the Bank briefcase and cash in on the same night to become World Heavyweight Champion and in spite of Punk. McIntyre then tosses the mic and exits the ring. McIntyre then kisses the bracelet. The Miz says McIntyre sees himself as the hero because Punk has cost him the World Heavyweight Champion twice. We get a video showing debut of the Wyatt Six last week. Alpha Academy, Chad Gable then was shown arriving in the parking area. Gable tells the cameraman that he will not do this now. Four security guards then surrounded Gable and covered his face as they walked through the parking garage area. We then see Kathy Kelly. Kathy Kelly is not happy that Rhea Ripley is a married woman. Uh-oh. We then see Kathy Kelly standing outside Chad Gable's dressing room where a couple of security guards were stationed. Kelly spoke about how other wrestlers told her that they were shocked that Gable showed up. Kelly then says she has yet to get confirmed of the extent of Gable's injuries and hopes to find out more about him and the other victims. Ludwig Kaiser then was interviewed by Jackie Rambert in the gorilla position. Kaiser accuses Breakker of viciously attacking him last week. Kaiser then says he will prove to everyone that he is destined for greatness and that Breakker is not him. Kaiser then makes his way down to the match, and we go to Breakker and Kaiser's match. Match starts off with Kaiser shoving Breakker and delivering a few strikes on him. Breakker then responds with a series of right hands and shoulder tackles, but Kaiser sends him colliding with the ropes and delivered some right hands on him. Breakker then says Kaiser crashing in the corner, then hits him with a shoulder.
According to Wikipedia, in mathematical writing, the greater...
Breakker then says Kaiser crashing into the corner and hits him with the shoulders on his midsection. Kaiser then trips Breakker and delivers some right hands on him. I'm sorry, my phone just completely went off. Sorry. And kicks and sends him crashing into the ring post, shoulder first. Kaiser then drop kicks Breakker out of the ring and hits him with another kick. But Breakker sends Kaiser with crashing into the ring apron spine first and hits him with a clothesline off that sends him and Kaiser crashing over the announce desk. Kaiser then looks to nail Breakker with a several chops. Breakker then stays standing and delivers some right hands on Kaiser and follows up with a back elbow. Breakker then sends Kaiser crashing into the mat and follows up with a German suplex, then sends him with a clothesline in the corner. Breakker then places Kaiser on the top turnbuckle and joins him up there and hits him with a Hurricane Rana. Breakker then sends Kaiser over his head and looks to send him crashing out of the ring, but Kaiser escapes. Breakker then throws Kaiser out of the ring with a belly-to-belly suplex and charges at him. But Kaiser sees Breakker coming and sends him crashing into the ring steps. Kaiser then charges at Breakker, but Sheamus intercepts, causing disqualification. There's a lot of DQs, honestly. So then after the match, Sheamus clears the announce desk and looks to send Kaiser crashing through it. Breakker then spears both men and is left standing tall. We head to Judgment Day's clubhouse, where Dirty Dominic Mysterio is holding a huge plate of chicken nuggets sent to him by WWE Women's World Champion Liv Morgan. Dominic then receives a text from Morgan and WWE World Heavyweight Champion El Campeon Damian Priest warns Dominic about what will happen when Rhea returns. Priest then encourages Dominic to end things with Morgan. After Dominic leaves the room, Priest gives the others a guilt trip for playing games when they should be focusing on taking out Braun Strowman. Once Priest leaves, Finn Balor tells others that they need to take care of Strowman. We see Braun Breaker head to the Raw General Manager's Adam Pearce's office and demand that Pearce do something about people interfering in his matches. WWE Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn then appears, offers Breaker a shot at the Intercontinental Champion at any time, any place he wants. Breaker then tells Zayn he wants it at Money in the Bank, and Pearce makes it official. Breaker then says he's going to destroy Zayn. We have a qualifying match. Lyra Valkyria, Shayna Baszler, and Kairi Sane. Matt starts off with Zayn going after Valkyria. Zayn delivers a kick on Baszler, but Valkyria pins her. Baszler then kicks out and Valkyria sends her crashing into the corner. Baszler then runs over Valkyria with a clothesline and sends Zayn crashing into the mat, then goes for a pin. Zayn then kicks out and Baszler sends Valkyria into the corner. Valkyria then trips Baszler and hits a Northern Light suplex on her and goes for the pin. Zayn then breaks the fall and then nails both Valkyria and Baszler. Zayn then climbs to the top and hits a crossbody on both women on the outside. Zayn then sends Baszler crashing into the apron, but Valkyria hits Zayn with a drop kick through the ropes and gets her back inside the ring. Valkyria then hits a drop kick off the top rope and follows up with a suplex and goes for the pin. Zayn then kicks up and Baszler hits Valkyria with a suplex. Zayn sends Baszler into the mat and then drags her over the corner and climbs to the top. Zayn then looks to hit an insane elbow, but Baszler blocks it, and looks to put her in the Karafuda clutch. Valkyria then rolls Baszler up before she can, but Baszler kicks out. Valkyria then hits an enziguri on Baszler and looks to hit a second one on Zayn, but Zayn avoids it. Valkyria then hits the Nightwing on Zayn and goes for the pin, but Baszler breaks the fall with a kick. Zayn then climbs to the top, but Baszler hits an enziguri. Valkyria then hits Baszler up on her shoulders, but Baszler puts her in a Karafuda clutch. Valkyria then transitioned into a pinfall, but Zayn breaks the fall with an insane elbow. Valkyria hits the Zayn with a Nightwing for the win, and Lyra Valkyria will be going to Money in the Bank, which is next Saturday. We head to the back where Drew McIntyre and Raw General Manager Adam Pearce is having a chat. McIntyre asks Pearce to add him to the Money in the Bank ladder match, but Pearce declines. McIntyre then tells Pearce he knows he'll do the right thing unless he wants to see destruction. He can do it. WWE Women's World Champion Liv Morgan goes out to the ring. Liv starts off by saying since she couldn't get Dominic's attention, she wanted to come down to the ring. Morgan then said she hopes that he enjoys her gifts and she knows what he really wants. Morgan then tells Dominic that Rhea Ripley has never gotten him any gifts and that she doesn't care about him. She got him a fucking North American title match. That's a gift enough. Please. Got him the boots, got him the fucking vest. What the fuck is she on? Seriously, people. I don't understand this. Did she even think about when she did her fucking goddamn promo? I mean, come on. Please, for the love of God. Morgan then calls Dominic out to the ring to thank her for the gifts and to give him another one. Vega comes out. Vega says she has a gift for the fans and that making Morgan quiet. Vega then says she doesn't know why Morgan is chasing Dominic, but she hasn't forgot about the Women's World Championship. Vega then says she's coming for it, and Morgan tells Vega she hasn't forgot about her title. Morgan then gloats about taking out Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, but Vega tells her she's too worried about having fun. Vega then says why will always trump Morgan's pursuit of Dominic. Then challenges her to a women's title match at tonight. Morgan then tells Vegas she's too busy and calls Dominic to the ring once again. Dominic comes out. Morgan asks Dominic if he likes the gifts that she got Dominic. And Dominic says while he got the gifts, he didn't like them. Morgan then says she knows Dominic liked the text sent, and Vega asks what's going on. Vega then says if Morgan is too afraid to fight, she doesn't have to bring her man out to the ring. Dominic then says He is not Morgan's man if Vega wants to go after Morgan's title. He wants to help her. Dominic then tells Vega he knows she had her differences with Ripley, but he wants the title on anyone but Morgan. Vega then tells Dominic she doesn't need his help. Morgan then attacks Vega and both men begin brawling. WWE Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio then shows up, pulls Morgan off Vega, but Dominic shoves him and leaves the ring. Morgan then chases after Dominic. Uh-oh. Ooh, Bessie. Ooh. This is not going to set well with Mommy. We see Kathy Kelly standing outside of Chad Gable's dressing room. And she says that medical personnel has checked on him and Adam Pearce was in the room. Pearce then comes out and says Gable is cleared to compete. Kelly then asks about Gable's mental state and Pearce says that it's not his story to tell. Michael Cole then asks The Miz if he felt Pearce should allow Gable to compete tonight after what happened last week. Miz says if Gable wants to fight, then Pearce should let him. We get a video package on Seth freaking Rollins. Now, if this turns to Netflix, when this turns to Netflix, we've been seeing the thing on TikTok. It's going to be Seth fucking Rollins. And if that's the case, I'm going to laugh my fucking ass off. The first fucking curse word, I'm going to fucking laugh. And I'm going to be like, oh, what the fuck? The Monster of all monster, Braun Strowman, makes his way down to the ring for the qualifying match for the Money in the Bank. We then see Women's World Champion Liv Morgan chasing after Dominic Mysterio. And Dominic is telling Morgan to leave him alone. Morgan then thanks Dominic for being her hero. Morgan says Dominic saved her from her deadbeat dad. Dominic then says he just doesn't like him. Morgan then says now she knows that Dominic wants this just as badly as she does. Morgan then hugs Dominic, who holds his arms like this in the air, doesn't want to touch her. Good. Who holds his and then walks away. WWE World Tag Team Champion R-Truth then shows up and speaks about Dominic being reluctant hero. It says those are the kindest, those are the best kind. Truth then says he loves it when love is in the air. Truth then says Dominic seems to be playing hard to get. Morgan then says she wants to do something nice for Dominic and his friends. Morgan then says she thought she would get Dominic a match against his father next week and asked Truth if she could get a tag team title match for Finn Balor and JD McDonough. Truth then agrees to the match. Morgan then tells Truth to make sure he gets the match approved by Adam Pearce. The Miz then leaves the announce desk to make sure Truth doesn't get the match to be made official. Yeah, Truth forgot that this was happening, that Miz was on commentary. Great! Bronson Reed then makes his way down for the match, which is the Money in the Bank qualifying match. And Alpha Academy Chad Gable makes his way down with a microphone in his hand. Gable asks the fans if they believe in miracles. Gable then says the rumors of his demise were greatly exaggerated. Gable then says he can't be killed and then declares that he will win Money in the Bank and calls himself Master in the Bank. That doesn't sound good. So this match starts off with Gable delivering some chops on Reed and Strowman. Both men remain standing, and Strowman nails Gable with a chop. Strowman then stares Reed down, and then two lock up. Strowman then nails Reed with a shoulder tackle, but Reed low bridges him to the outside. Gable then looks to hit a German suplex on Reed, but Reed blocks it and looks to send Gable on the top of Strowman. Strowman then catches Gable and Reed and hits a tope suicida land on both of them. Gable then has an armbar locked in on Strowman using the ropes. Gable then hits a dropkick on Reed, but Reed looks to hit a running senton on him. Gable then sees Reed coming and then goes after both men in opposite corners. Reed then hits a splash on Strowman and Gable in the opposite corners, but Strowman sends Gable on top of Reed and runs Gable over with a running shoulder tackle on the outside. Reed then sends Strowman crashing to the outside, but Gable hits a German suplex on Reed and goes for a pin. Reed then kicks out Strowman, sends him crashing into the ring post on the outside. Strowman then body slams him on the floor. Judgment Day then attacks Strowman and beats him down on the ramp. Gable then hits a moonsault off the top rope on Reed for the win. And he moves on to the Money in the Bank in Toronto. After the match, lights go out and smoke surrounds Gable and the ring. The White Six music then starts playing. Nikki Cross crawls into the ring with she's Abby the Witch or Sister Abigail. Nikki crawls towards the ring and makes her way towards Gable. Gable then slides out of the ring and slides out of the ring as well and grabs a box. Cross then places it on the announce desk and walks off through the crowd. So then Michael Cole reveals that the box gave him, and it was an address to Pat McAfee. Cole then opens it to reveal a VHS tape with "Play Me" written on it. Cole gives it to someone to take it to the production truck to play. It's a VHS tape for all you kiddos. VHS tape was a thing that you put it in and you press play. That was our DVDs and streaming. We had to go to Blockbuster, and I'm fucking showing my age. And we picked out a tape, we brought it home, we put it in the VCR, and that's how we watched a movie or a series of shows that were put on VHS. I know, we're primitive. I know. And if we didn't have it back, we had to pay a late fee. Forgot about those? We didn't. I never had a late charge. Who would have thunk? We then head to the back where Chad Gable admits he made a mistake and tells Otis, Maxine Dupree, and Akira Tozawa he was wrong. Gable then apologizes and calls them a family, but Otis tells Gable's anyone who hurts Dupree and Tozawa isn't family. Dupree then tells Gable that he's really hurt Otis and he needs some time. The Creed brothers and Ivy Nile then approaches Gable to ask him if he's all right. There you go. Those are the people are going to help him win Money in the Bank. Bold prediction. Gable says he needs help. We go to the tag team title match for the women. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn versus Katie Carter and Katana Chance. The match starts off with Fire and Carter. Carter sends Fire and Dawn out of the ring. Carter then hits both Fire and Dawn with a dropkick, then sends Chance gliding into them to take them out. Carter then has a reverse knee bar locked in on Fire. Fire then makes her way to the bottom rope to break the submission move. Then tags in Dawn. Fire and Dawn then look to hit Carter with a double suplex, but Carter blocks them and sends them crashing into the mat. Carter then hits Dawn with a kick, then tags in Chance. Chance and Carter then hit the cake stand on Dawn, and Chance pins Dawn, but Dawn kicks out. Fire then tags herself in and hits a gory bomb Russian leg sweep combination with Dawn for the win, and the Unholy Union retain the titles. After the match, Damage Control appears and attacks Fire. Dawn, Carter, Chance, Io Sky then hits it over the moonsault on both Fire and Dawn. We go back to the Judgment Day's clubhouse where WWE World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest enters as Liv Morgan leaves. Priest then finds Finn Balor inside, and Balor assures Priest that nothing sketchy happened. Balor then informs Priest that Morgan managed to get him and JD a WWE World Tag Team Championship match for later on in the evening against WWE match for later in the evening. And she got Dominic a match against his father next week. Priest and Balor then agrees it seems too good to be true. Priest then wishes Balor good luck with his title match later on. Balor expression then changed. Priest leaves and rolls his eyes and shakes his head. We get an ad for WrestleMania Behind the Curtain documentary that will air this Wednesday, July 3rd on YouTube. So that's going to be, and it's going to be at 7 p.m. So it's going to probably be an hour, so it doesn't interfere with fucking Dynamite, people. Christ's sakes. Who the fuck knows? I don't even know if Dynamite's going to be on July 3rd. They might be giving the people off. Who knows? We head to the back where Miz catches up with R-Truth and hopes that he hasn't spoken to Adam Pearce yet. Truth says he has and spoken about how he did it for love. Truth then calls it a classic rom-com. Miz then says it's not about Liv and Dom, it's about them. Truth then says he loves Miz, but only as a friend. WWE World Heavyweight Champion El Campeon Damian Priest heads to the ring. Damian Priest starts off by saying he understands why Seth freaking Rollins said he sees him during a video that played earlier in the evening. Given the similarities they share, Priest then says he sees someone he doesn't want to become in Rollins. While Rollins is a great, as long as he's world heavyweight champion, Rollins will never see the mountaintop again. Rollins heads out to the ring. Rollins welcomes fans of Monday Night Rollins and asks Priest if he wants to run his mouth about him. Rollins then clarifies Priest's statement about him never climbing the mountain top again. He says the problem is that he doesn't believe Rollins. Then says he thinks Priest's confidence isn't real, and no one buys him as the mountaintop because the actions don't line up with his words. Rollins then says Priest says all the right things, such as saying he doesn't need help defending his title. But both of his title defenses proven otherwise with people helping him retain his title. But he didn't ask. He didn't know that this was fucking going on. So what the fuck? Is he supposed to fucking goddamn say to everybody, don't come down, or you're gonna do this? Please stay the way the fuck away from the match, please. Priest then says he sees where Rollins is coming from, but never asks anyone to interfere in his defenses. Priest then says he can't change what happened, but he can stand facing Rollins in the present. Priest then says he sees the past when he looks for Rollins, and Rollins says he doesn't appreciate being one-upped. Rollins then says Priest one-upped him last week by offering him a title shot. Came to one-up Priest tonight. Rollins says, per a gentleman's agreement, he will never challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship as long as Priest holds the title. But if Priest loses, he must leave Judgment Day. Priest says he likes the proposal and Judgment Day needs him more than he needs the Judgment Day. Priest then accepts Rollins' proposal and the two shake hands. The King of the Ring, Gunther, music, and he heads out to the ring. Gunther says he fully understands that there's a lot of on the line for both Priest and Rollins at Money in the Bank. Then wishes them both the best of luck and tells them he'll be waiting for whomever holds the title at SummerSlam. When we see Michael Cole sitting alone at the desk and he hypes Karrion Kross versus Kofi Kingston, that will be the match next that will be the next match of the night. Cole then recalls that thing, handing him the VHS tape. Cole then says the production truck was able to track down a VHS machine so that could show what was on the videotape. The videotape footage then airs and shows Uncle Howdy speaking with someone with a distorted voice, and asks if the person is happy whether that person has been lost. Howdy then asks the person if they feel forgotten or remember who they are. Bo Dallas then sits across from Uncle Howdy and says he is nobody. Howdy then says, there you are, and asks how it felt when his brother died. Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda. Dallas then says he felt like the most important thing in his life was taken away from him, and nothing would ever matter again. Howdy then asked Dallas if he was exploiting his brother's legacy. I like that. Dallas says all he ever wanted was to be like his brother. Dallas then says he looked up to him and wanted to be him. Dallas then says he worked his entire life for the opportunity. Dallas says they finally made it and they had it, and then it was taken away from him. Dallas then says no one on this earth feels more hurt by his loss nor feels what he feels. Dallas then asks what he is supposed to do. Dallas then asks if he should let everyone forget what he fought for and what he believed in. Dallas then says they wanted to forget, but they made him all remember. Howdy then says, yes, they did. Howdy and Dallas were shown seated across from one another at the conclusion of the footage. This is going to be fucking awesome. I cannot wait for more of this. It was a great touch of that. It was a great touch. It just made me feel fucking old. I'm 42 years old. That made me feel fucking old because I still have VHSs. Seriously. I'm in the process of trying to get the money up to convert them on either DVD or a thumb drive so I can fucking put it on my computer or put it in a place in a cloud so I can always view it. Karrion Kross versus Kofi Kingston. The match starts off with Kingston wasting no time in going after Kross. Kingston hits a dropkick on Kross, then flies over the top rope, landing on him. Kingston then gets Kross back inside the ring and climbs to the top, then looks to fly. Kross then sees Kingston coming and hits him with a backbreaker, then follows up with a Death Valley driver. Kingston then flies off the top rope to land on Kross. Kingston then hits Kross with a kick, but Kross then sends Kingston into the corner. Kingston then flies off the ropes to land on Kross with a crossbody, then follows him up with a boom drop. Kingston then becomes distracted when video plays of the Authors of Pain attacking Xavier Woods as Paul Ellering stands by on the big string. Kross then takes advantage of Kingston and being distracted, hits him on the final prayer for the win. So then he does like I think 7, and sooner or later we're gonna have Kross vying for a title where he should have been all along. Undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes, the Viper Randy Orton, and the prize fighter Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline in a 6-man tag match at Money in the Bank not tomorrow, a week from tomorrow. So the lineup was announced for Raw next week. We get the entrance for the World Tag Team titles, The Miz and R-Truth versus JD McDonough and Finn Balor of the Judgment Day. Match starts off with McDonough going straight after Truth. McDonough delivers some kicks to Truth before Balor tags in. Truth then nails Balor and tags in the Miz. Miz and Truth then hits a double back elbow, a double elbow drop on Balor, then follows it up with a double hip toss on McDonough, and a double flapjack on Balor. Then a clothesline on McDonough out of the ring as Liv Morgan makes her way down to the ring. It looks at Balor. McDonough then tags in and flies off the ropes. Balor then tags in and delivers a right hand on Truth's midsection, but Truth responds with a kick. Both men hit each other before Miz tags in and hits a clothesline on in the corner on McDonough. Dominic Mysterio and Carlito then appears at ringside. Miz sends Carlito crashing over the announce desk. Miz then hits crossbody on McDonough from the apron and follows that up with a DDT on McDonough and Balor. Balor. Miz then pins McDonough, but McDonough kicks out. Dominic then jumps on the apron and McDonough tries taking advantage. Miz then kicks out and hits a skull crushing finale, then goes for a pin. Carlito then puts McDonough's foot on the bottom rope to break the fall, but Braun Strowman chases them from ringside. Balor and Truth tag in, and Truth hits a couple of shoulder tackles on Balor. Truth sets up a 5-knuckle shuffle, but Balor sees him coming. Truth then locks in an STF on Balor, but McDonough breaks the hold. McDonough then intercepts Miz with a dropkick, but Truth nails him. Balor then rolls up Truth, but Truth kicks out and sends Balor crashing into the mat. Truth then hits a 10-knuckle shuffle on McDonough and Balor. Morgan then jumps on the apron and hugs Truth, but surprises him with a jawbreaker using the top rope. Balor then takes advantage and drop kicks Truth into the corner and follows it up with the coup de grace, the win, and we have new tag team champions, world tag team champions. After the match, Michael Cole says it will be hard for the Judgment Day to ignore Liv Morgan now. Cole then recaps the highlights from the match. Then the new champions celebrate on the stage. Liv Morgan runs up behind him and joins the celebration. Balor shrugs his shoulders. Cole then asks if Morgan was becoming the Judgment Day's version of Yoko Ono. If you don't know, she was John Lennon's wife, and she was subsequently the reason why the Beatles broke up. And I don't know why. I just showed my age. I keep showing my age on this episode, seriously. And the show comes to a close. And that it comes to this close, meaning that I am done. And I will be back here at 9 a.m. on Sunday for preview and prediction of the Forbidden Door. And then I will be back sometime Monday afternoon with the review. Please do me a favor, go check out the rest of the content on the channel, which is the reviews of Clash at the Castle and the King and Queen of the Ring tournament. We have Backlash, we have Double or Nothing, a plethora of things to go check out. Please do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the bell for all notifications so when I go live, upload a video, do a short, you will all know about it. Please also go check me and follow me on my social media platforms, which are Facebook, Threads, and Instagram. Also, please do me a favor, go check me out on Cameo, TikTok, and X, all Mel's Mat Chat. Please also go follow me on Snapchat and OnlyFans, which is Real Mel's Mat Chat. Please do me a favor. I have my PayPal QR code. Scan it. If you want to donate to the podcast, you can. Write a little message. I will read it here on the show. Whenever I get it, the next show, I will shout you out. Again, please go check out Maestro Classics at maestroclassics.com. Visit their website for all your beard essentials. Check out Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com and get all your artillery to murder your thirst. Go sample the world's strongest coffee with the lowest acidic rate, Death Wish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com, and check out House of Glory at hogwrestling.net. I'll be back here Sunday at 9 a.m. with the review, with the preview and predictions of Forbidden Door. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Sunday. I love you all. Have a great Friday. Bye.